So first, there are scientists and there are materialists.
Yeah.
Sometimes scientists are materialists, but that's not necessary. So like, what is science and then what is materialism? How are they distinct from each other?
Okay. So let's start with science here.
Okay.
Let's define science first. Just succinctly, we're not going to get all into the details of what science, there's huge literature, there's a lot of literature and amount of research done in this field. But succinctly, science is the branch of knowledge that investigates the structure and behavior of the natural world by observation and experimentation. In other words, science takes matter seriously. Science takes the material world, investigates it, and tries to give a rational explanation for the phenomenon that's taking place in this natural world.
This, when we say science, I mean, these are the natural sciences, right? The hard sciences.
The hard sciences.
Biology, chemistry, physics, these things.
Sure.
But yeah, exactly. It's this organized body of knowledge that proceeds from observation of the material empirical world.
And science as we know it today didn't really take on its form until about the 17th century.
With Francis Bacon, right?
With Francis Bacon and the scientific revolution.
We'll get into that. Okay, so that's science. Right. So what is materialism then?
Okay, so materialism is a philosophy that asserts that being in existence is identified by matter.
So everything is matter.
Everything is matter, right? And so positively we can say, okay, the materialist holds the fact that reality itself is explainable through the material world.
Through only matter, yeah.
Negatively, however, we could say materialism is saying that's the only explanation for reality, right? That's it.
Yeah.
Now, its relationship to science is interesting because while not every scientist is strictly speaking a materialist, and I think that's an important qualification, there is a deep relationship between the two that we've seen time and time again, which we'll lay out here shortly, right? But science takes this matter, in a lot of ways takes this philosophy and applies it to its observational method.
Yeah, so this is important. So if you're a scientist, you have to kind of carry out the scientific endeavor like a materialist.
Sure.
And what I mean by that is you have to bracket everything except your empirical observation of the material world.
In order to try to be objective.
In order to be a scientist, in order to be an objective scientist. What a lot of scientists will do, and we see this, and we'll talk about this in our article, is that they'll take their observations from their scientific endeavor and they'll add into those observations a philosophical position. Namely the philosophical position of materialism. Yep. So they'll use the scientific process to discover truths about the material world, which again is good and like necessary and has borne so much fruit in the world, right? And has allowed us to understand nature in such a profound way. But then the problem that a lot of scientists make, even unconsciously, is to then jump to the conclusion, the philosophical, not scientific conclusion, but the philosophical conclusion, okay, that this material phenomenon is actually all that there is. Yeah. And that reality is reducible to the matter that I see in front of me, that I can explain everything in terms of matter. That's materialism, and that is...
scientism taken to its extremity.
Exactly.
Right.